long, and I just thought it'd be really nice to just kind of snuggle and have eyes closed and just listen to the story. So maybe kind of later on.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do mine now? Because mine, I mean, I was a bit unsure kind of what to choose. I was trying to remember all the chant stuff from the Red Tent, and I was trying to find an appropriate one. So mine is like a kind of opening song. So maybe that might be good to do that first. Is that okay? But it involves learning things. Yeah, I was torn between, there was one which was, you know, the I am a circle, but that's quite a short one. Or, you know, I think I've made the lyrics up for this, actually. I've done it. I looked it up and it's actually more complicated. But the one about Spirit of the Wind. So it's each of the elements. And you can turn to face the elements as well. So you could have a little bit of a move in your body as you're kind of swaying, and you turn to each of the elements. So it goes, so it'd be Spirit of the Wind, carry me. Spirit of the Wind, carry me home. Spirit of the Wind, carry me home to myself. I just thought it was so lovely.
Yeah.
So we could do that, and then we turn and face the south. Again, if you don't know which of the directions, don't worry. And then so we'll do Spirit of the Fire, and then we'll do Spirit of the Water. Should we do the water or the river? I don't know, I couldn't decide. And then Spirit of the Earth.
Lovely.
But does that sound okay with everybody?
That sounds lush. So I'm wondering if we do yours first, James, because you have a poem and a meditation, is that right?
I thought so. I just looked at the meditation, and actually it's 22 minutes long, so not that one.
Well, do you want to, how would you feel about doing one of your, maybe like a guided something?
Yeah, I could do a little, yeah.
Yeah, does that feel okay?
Yeah.
So if we do Kayla's, then James, and we'll really sink in and relax, and then we'll have Sue's at the end. Well, not the end, but like third. Does that sound good? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to record it as well, so we can just sort of either come back to the reminders of what nourishes us, and it's just so scroobly and yummy. So I'll stop talking, and Kayla, you can take it away.
Okay, scroobly, like that word. So yeah, feel free to do what you need in your body. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to not get too hung up about which direction is which. So we're all muted, and then obviously I won't mute myself. I'm going to drum as well. So let's just take a breath in and exhale. And arrive for yourself. Do you hear the heartbeat of the earth within you? Okay. Can you hear me okay? Because I might have to turn my back. So we'll do Spirit of the Wind. Joining in whenever you want. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. And we'll do fire. Ready? Here we go. just take a moment to arrive home and notice within you what is still and what is moving. To celebrate yourself as the spirit in the center and all around that connects us to the web of life, that connects us together. So mote it be.
Thank you, Kayla. That was lush.
Thanks, Kayla. That was gorgeous.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kayla. Really enjoyed that. So I'm going to invite you all for this next thing to think of one thing that you would love to create in 2021. If there's two, that's totally fine. But one will just allow you to sink into how it feels. So with this one thing, I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose and feel the feelings when that one thing is really created already in front of you. And as you breathe out, allow that feeling to flow into every cell of your body. We can do that together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And as you arrive in this place where this is created by you and for you, look around you in your mind's eye. Notice everything you see. Are there animals? Are there plants? Are there things? Living or not living? How is the light? What colors do you see or feel? What sounds can you hear? Are they coming from around you or from within? Can you smell anything? Is there anything around you to taste? And finally, can you touch anything with your skin? And how does it feel? As you breathe these sensations into every cell of your body with a deep breath, notice any emotions coming up for you. Notice how you feel. Notice any parts of your body that say hello in whatever way they choose to say hello. Hear their voice now. And if it feels good, offer them love in return. And now let us give thanks that this has been created by us and for us. And as we give thanks, allow all of this experience to wash into your body through the crown of your head, all the way down with a deep breath and the biggest smile you can imagine. Let it wash all the way down to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Now that you find yourself back in your own body, wiggle those fingers and those toes. Gently roll your shoulders. Move your neck a little. And when you feel ready, with the biggest smile possible, gently and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. When you feel ready. If anyone would like to share anything, I would invite a couple of words.
I feel hopeful and excited, actually. Yeah, I love that smile. Oh my God, I am smiling. I wasn't feeling particularly smiley this morning. And when you just said smile and then open, I can't stop smiling, James. What have you done?
Yay!
Amazing. You're a wizard.
Thanks, Kayla. So glad you're smiling. Everyone's smiling.
Feeling very joyful and like my eyes are open anew. My heart is open. Thank you, James. That was wonderful.
Yeah, just to echo really, yeah, hopeful. I allowed myself to kind of imagine something that is just not possible at the moment in lockdown, but who knows what the future may hold. And suddenly I was like, oh yeah, things will change. And yeah, so yeah, hopeful. Thank you. It's a good feeling.
Thank you, James. Yeah, that was lovely. I sort of feel yeah, just a sense of that sort of faith of, it's there in some way. It's kind of like it's already there, waiting to just be sort of stepped into when the time is right. So that's really lovely to have that opportunity. opportunity to sort of step a little toe into it. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, similar to Sue, I'm feeling yeah, a trust in what's to come, and yeah, and a smile, and yeah, I'm really glad you did a meditation rather than a recording or visualization. Thank you.
It was so nice, James, to experience a little tiny bit of what you do, because obviously, you know, we hear a lot of the other side of it, you know, like the practicalities and stuff. So yeah, it was really awesome. And yeah, I can't even imagine how awesome people must feel after having like a whole session with you. I mean, that's, yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. And it was interesting when you was like, think of something that you want to create in 2021. The thing that came to me was nothing that I'd ever sort of thought of before. And yeah, it was really interesting. And it was very small, but yeah, it was, yeah. So thank you for that opportunity. It's lovely. So.
Thank you guys, I'm blown away. Gosh. I feel like sorry, Bram, I don't know if you could hear Bram in the background chomping on the post. I just let him have it. Oh, I'm gonna go grab it off him, but I'm happy to hand over actually. I feel like that's peaceful space for someone else's beginning.
Thank you, James. So should we have a bit of story time? That'd be lovely. Like I said earlier on, I throughout the week I was thinking, oh, I don't know what story to share, and I was thinking, oh, you know, find something that's like really, you know, just kind of right meditative for the time, and I couldn't work out what to tell, and then I told this story to Althea. I found it in a book the other day, and it's from this book, The Healing Heart Communities. There's two of these. There's one which is communities and one which is families. So I found this story in here, and I just love it. It's about a raccoon, and Althea just found it hilarious, and I really loved it as well. So I thought, actually, I'm going to share that one. And then last night I was too tired to kind of go through it and try and sort of learn it. And I thought, I'll do it this morning. And then I ran out of time. And then I just sort of sod it. I'm just going to read it, actually, because then I don't have to think about anything other than just sharing the story. I can just, you know, so I thought maybe the invitation, if you'd like to, would be to just get really snuggly, you know, get comfy with whatever you need. You know, lie down if you want to, or sit up. You have your eyes closed if you'd like to. That would be fine, and just enjoy that feeling of being read a story. I don't know where this story actually. I don't know if this is a traditional story, because it doesn't say that it's a folk tale. It's by a guy called Robert Reiser, so it might be an original from him. And it's just called The Raccoon. And it goes like this. He was big and round and sassy. He was the biggest, roundest, sassiest raccoon in the entire forest. More than anything in the world, he loved to eat. He could eat anything: turnips and petunias and rutabagas and coffee grounds and banana peels. He loved to eat. There was nothing in the world he loved more than to eat and eat and eat until he could hardly move. Well, this winter had been particularly hard. The snow began falling early in the season, and it kept falling and falling, covering the plants and the roots and the grass and the trash bins, freezing over the streams until there was nothing at all to eat. So he did what any raccoon would do in the circumstance. He crawled into his den in the hollow in the big old tree, burrowed into his pile of leaves, and went to sleep. While he slept, he dreamed of food, of course. Orange peels and bananas and nuts and eggplants danced in his head as he snored away those cold, cold weeks. Then one day, something new came into his dreams. A smell, a delicious, sweet smell, like grass growing, like old leaves warming in the sun. He opened his eyes. Something was different. There was all kinds of chirping and tweeting outside his hole, and that smell of fresh grass was as strong as ever. Spring. Spring had come to the forest. Then he peeked out of his hole and sniffed. The snow was gone. The forest was full of food. Was he going to eat? Oh, he would eat and eat and eat until he could bust. He leaped out of his hole and stopped. Right in front of him, at the very end of a long branch, high up, on his very own tree, stood a bird's nest. Not an ordinary bird's nest, but a giant bird's nest made of mud and sticks and straw. It was amazing. What's more, right in the middle of this bird's nest sat an egg. An egg! And not an ordinary egg, but a humongous egg. Oval, brown and white, and probably the biggest egg he had ever seen in his life. What a breakfast to celebrate the end of winter. The best thing about this egg was that there was no mother bird. It was all alone, ready for eating. In a second, the raccoon was across the tree, jumping into the nest and grabbing the egg. Oh, it was so heavy. He wrapped his arms around it and lifted. Then suddenly he tottered out of the nest and hoisted the egg and himself onto the tree limb. Suddenly, there was a sound. Screech! He froze. It was a horrible sound. He looked up and saw the mother standing right on the branch above him. Screech! He shivered. This was no ordinary mother bird. No, sir, this was an eagle mother. With a long, sharp beak and beady eyes and great, powerful wings and long, long, razor-sharp claws. She screeched again. Screech! Grasping the egg tightly in his paws, he began to scramble back to his hole in the tree. It was too late. She was coming straight at him. Suddenly, bang, she swiped at him with one of her great wings. Bang, she hit him with the other wing. Bang, now she was standing on the tree limb right behind him and his hole. He turned and started to run back towards the nest. Screech! She leapt into the air and was slashing at him with those sharp claws of hers. Screech! She sounded furious. Holding the egg tightly in his front paws, he slowly rolled himself to the bottom side of the branch and hung onto the tree with his back paws. Suddenly she stopped her scratching and banging and landed on the branch right above his head. She didn't want him to drop the egg, but she didn't want him to get back to his hole. He was stuck, hanging upside down with the egg in his paws. He wasn't going anywhere. His back paws ached. His claws were beginning to slip. He knew he couldn't hang on. If he let go of the egg, the mother would slash him to pieces in a second. Minutes went by. Hours. Any moment he could slip from the tree. He couldn't let go of the egg. He couldn't hang on. So he did what any intelligent raccoon would do in the circumstances. With his front paws, he shoved the egg into his mouth. He couldn't swallow the egg. It was much too big. So instead, he sucked it right into his cheek. Then he grabbed the tree with all four paws. Screech! The mother eagle shrieked in fury. She stomped up and down on the branch, but there was nothing she could do. But there was nothing he could do either. He lay upside down with all four paws wrapped around the tree limb, and he waited. Hours passed while the eagle stood on the branch staring at him. Evening came, but he knew the moment he closed his eyes, the mother would grab him and the egg and pull them into the sky. The evening passed. Night came. Everything was dark except for the clear eyes of the mother eagle staring at him. Dawn came and still he hung on. He was so tired. The raccoon could see his friends scampering around below him on the forest floor, grabbing all the roots and nuts they could find, while he hung on. They were eating and playing while he was stuck upside down in a tree, starving to death with an egg stuck in his cheek. For a second, he thought about nibbling a little on the egg. But as soon as the idea crossed his mind, screech! The eagle leaped into the air and slashed her claws down toward him. She could tell what he was thinking. Why did he ever let himself get into this mess? It wasn't fair. He could feel the hot tears roll upside down off his face. The day passed and evening came and still he hung on. And another night and another day and another night, the mother eagle never left her perch on the branch. She never took her eyes off him. 3 days passed, 4 days passed. Every muscle in his body ached. He hadn't eaten a bite. He hadn't slept a wink. He was exhausted. 5 days passed, 6 days passed. The raccoon knew he couldn't last much longer. That's when it happened. It began as a funny, fuzzy, tingly feeling in his cheek, like there was something buzzing and shaking against the inside of his mouth. Then it became a kind of pinching, like something was biting at the inside of his cheek. He felt a terrible sharp pain in his cheek, like something had bitten him. Suddenly, the whole side of his face was jumping around, and then he felt something pushing his mouth open from the inside. It was unbelievable. It was weird. It was unlike anything that had ever happened to him before. The raccoon's mouth opened very slightly, and out popped the head of a baby eagle. The raccoon's jaw dropped in disbelief as the baby bird walked out of his mouth and up onto the branch above his head. For one unbelievable moment, he and the baby eagle stared at each other. Then the mother eagle snatched her eaglet from the branch and carried him off to safety. The raccoon hung onto the branch, his mouth sore, his eyes dizzy, his head ringing in exhaustion. Finally, he gathered his strength, pulled himself up onto the branch and crawled back to his hole, the hollow of the oak tree. He burrowed deep into his pile of leaves and, shivering and shaking, fell asleep. He was awakened by a startling change. The hollow in the tree had suddenly grown dark. A great shadow stood at the entrance. The raccoon opened his eyes. It was the mother eagle, only inches from his face. She was staring at him. Something was different. The eyes weren't flashing at him like before. Her whole face seemed softer. Then she made a sound he didn't know she could make. A soft screech. Nothing like the angry screech she had made before. And then she was gone. The raccoon lived for many years after that. Of course, he never ate eggs again. He became known as one of the wisest creatures in the entire forest. All of the creatures respected him because he was the only one in the land who was on speaking terms with the great eagles. The great birds called him Uncle, though none of the creatures knew why. One magnificent eagle would often stop by and talk to the raccoon. All of the creatures kept their respectful distance from these meetings, but if they had been close enough, they would have heard that this extraordinary bird called him Father. Oh, thanks. And that's the story of the big, round, sassy raccoon.
Yay! That was so cool, Sue. That's a lovely story.
Yeah, it's great.
It was brilliant. I loved it. So lovely. Oh, God, that was lush. What a treat. Thank you all of you so much for sharing your thing. I feel like really blissed out and relaxed and cozy. Yeah, thank you. So, before I nod off, yeah, does anybody want to share anything else? We've still got 10 more minutes.
Can I play us a song?
Yes, please.
Right. It's a roomy poem, and I didn't write the tune, but it's very pretty. Cold hands. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of living. Oh, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of living. Oh, come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. Even if you've broken your vows, oh, 1,000 times before, yet again come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of living. Oh, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of living. Oh, come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. Even if you've broken your vows, oh, 1,000 times before, yet again come, yet again come.
Yay!
I'm a bit out of practice. I was trying to remember it last night, but I couldn't memorize it. Let's get the book out.
Beautiful. So I had no idea you could play guitar. That's so cool.
A little bit.
That was so lovely. Thank you. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourselves, everyone.
Thank you, Zoe. What a gorgeous gift.
Yeah, so many gorgeous gifts today. Ah, my heart feels really full. I think I might cry. Oh, yeah, thank you all so much.